Okay, family, let's get started. We're continuing to focus on this upcoming test. And what we know is that this test is going to involve the current crashing or imploding or controlled demolition of the dollar. It is also going to involve, at the heart of it, AI technology. Specifically, Chat GPT. We had previously summarized exactly what Chat GPT is. We know it's a lot of things, and people have a lot to say about it. But we need what we referred to as good intel. We don't need all of the intel to understand it. We just need good intel on ChatGPT. And formally, we had summarized it, like I said. And we made the observation that general information gathering is not the same as intelligently gathering good intel. General information gathering does not equate to intelligently gathering good intel. We have to know, as children of Yahuwah in the last days, it is imperative that we know what ChatGPT means to us. Specifically, not to the world, not interested in that. What it means to us specifically.
Yes.
That's good intel.
Mm-hmm.
So we summarized it. ChatGPT is essentially a counterintelligence program. That is, it is the de facto COINTELPRO of the last days. Let me ask you a question. As so-called black people in America, is COINTELPRO, does that have a specific meaning to you? Do you have a specific understanding of what that is, irrespective of what the world thinks of it?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
It has specific meaning to us. This was a program that was specifically aimed at us. It involved other people. Absolutely, it involved other people. But at its heart, it was specifically aimed at the sons and daughters of Jacob.
Yes.
And if we want to sum this up in a statement, in the COINTELPRO papers, Second line item in terms of the goals of the program.
Come on.
To prevent.
Yes, sir.
The rise of a so-called black Messiah. Now, that is not biblical. If that is not prophetic, I don't know what is. So Yahweh is letting us know that ChatGPT is the de facto COINTELPRO program or COINTELPRO of the last days. We got to pay attention to this. And again, we have to understand this. What does this mean to us specifically? Because this is warfare, as it was, family, during the time of this program. And they never ended the program. They never ended it. Matter of fact, Edgar Hoover, we're going to find out, didn't begin the program. This program has been in place under the auspices of what the scriptures refer to as the mystery of iniquity. The major plan of the adversary to prevent the rise of a champion, a Messiah, a promised Messiah of our. This has been going on for centuries.
Yes, sir.
Since the Genesis, family. We're going to trace this thing back to its roots. Since the Genesis, there has been this spirit, this adversarial spirit at work, alive for a specific purpose. And the enemy in the last days with Edgar Hoover, they just came out and said it. They lifted the head up. Counterintelligence is defined as the act of preventing an enemy from obtaining secret information or hidden information. Man, our whole history is hidden.
Yes.
It's a secret. It's a mystery. Mystery of iniquity.
Yeah.
All right? Let us cut them off from being a nation, from being a people, so they won't even remember that they are the sons and daughters of Israel. Man, they've worked their hand. But we're remembering in the last days. Yahweh is working his hand in our midst.
Yes.
So we have to know we got to be on our counterintelligence program. In other words, gathering information. Right?
Yes, sir.
Good intel. Information gathered and activities conducted to identify, deceive, exploit, disrupt, or protect against espionage. And that's what we're doing. We're protecting ourselves against the espionage of our adversaries. Other intelligence activities, sabotage, or assassinations conducted for or on behalf of foreign powers, organizations, or persons, or their agents. And see, that's been our Achilles heel. Our adversaries, proxies, and representatives, agents in our midst. Would you all agree?
Absolutely.
or international terrorist organizations or activities. Intelligence is defined as the highest faculty of the mind, meaning superior understanding, sagacity, quality of being intelligent, secret information from spies. Y'all remember, in our history, Yahweh sent spies to spy out the land, right?
Right.
Don't y'all understand that we're in the same position, vertically aligned, vertically connected to our ancestors when they spied out the land, when they gathered intel, right? And you had the majority, 10 tribes, that brought back what? Bad intel. A bad report. We got to be the Joshuas and the Calebs of our generation, correct? If we want to be successful.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Information versus intelligent information, discerning the differences between information and intelligence intel. Useful information concerning a subject of interest. This is what we're doing. In gaming, an intel tool is a type of ability which gives the player information about the positioning of their enemies. And we need this. We need to know exactly what our enemies are doing. What are their intentions? Where is their attention focused on? As it concerns what? Us, specifically. Intel is information that has specific military or particular political value. Good intel is defined as specific knowledge or particular information that gives us a specific strategic and or particular tactical advantage over our opponent adversary. As far as we, the children of Yahweh, are concerned, AI tech, specifically ChatGPT, is our opponent's or adversary's primary weapon of choice in the final days of the times of the Gentiles, the dominion reign of darkness. A quick understanding. Empty your cup now. All right, family? Empty your cup. A quick understanding of what we need to know about ChatGPT. We know about our ancestors. We know about Yahweh. Things are revealed on an as-needed basis. Correct?
Yes, sir.
On a need-to-know basis.
Yes, sir.
How often have we emphasized this in the past?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Over the past 3 years or more, did we get exactly what we needed?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yes.
What the enemy was about. Well, this is going to continue, fam. So we have to learn from the past and move wiser, move more efficiently. And so we're of a quick understanding, right? So the ancestors, Yahweh, is dealing with us on that basis. And we don't need to do a whole bunch of research on stuff. We just need to know what we need to know right now. And then build on that. In a word, ChatGPT is the antithesis of Yahushua HaMashiach, who is, as the word of Yahweh informs us, the Word made flesh. Conversely, Chat GPT is the word made tech. Can it get any simpler than that?
No.
So then we have revealed before us the classical, familiar pop fiction, almost cliche sci-fi trope of man versus machine. This is and will be the defining characteristic reality of the nature of the test that we are expecting. Slika, the nature of the test that we are expecting, anticipating, looking forward to, and hastening in the consuming days of the times of the Gentiles, the kingdom of darkness. You all see all this stuff that's going on.
Yes.
Plagues of hail, locusts, roaches.
Come on. Yes, sir.
We're hastening that.
Absolutely.
By our alignment, by our connection. We have to be secure in that.
Yes.
Before things get chaotic.
Real talk.
Jeremiah 1, verse 4, then the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee. This is to all of us, not specifically a prophet, but what you're as a messianic people.
Okay.
And whatever your specific role is, you were set apart, sanctified, ordained. It was called out even before you knew. And you're just walking in that now. You're waking up and you're walking in that knowledge. I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. And I said, Ah, Lord God, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. Whatever excuse, whatever but you want to put in there. Remember, we talked about that. Yahweh said unto me, say not, I am a child. This is what you're going to do. You're going to go out and speak to all that I shall send thee. And whatsoever I command thee, you shall speak. Whatever we're commanded to do. We have to what? Hear intelligently and obey.
Yes.
Be not afraid of their faces, for I am with thee to deliver thee, saith Yahweh. Then Yahweh put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And Yahweh said unto me, behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. This is the only thing that is important. Not your words, not my words, not how you interpret what you hear.
Etai, if you put the S in front of the word, that says sword.
Absolutely. That's absolutely right. We're going to get to that, Rofa. We're going to get to that. That's our weapon. We talked about that. That's our weapon in the fight.
Yes.
See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms to root out, to pull down, and to destroy. Look what we're doing. Are we seeing kingdoms being rooted out?
Absolutely. Yes.
Destroyed? Thrown down? And at the same time, we're building, we're planting in good soil, on a firm foundation. Are we not?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
The almond rod and the burning pot, the boiling pot rather. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me and said, Jeremiah, what do you see? And I say, I see a rod of an almond tree. And Yahweh said unto me, Thou hast seen well, for I will hasten my word to perform it. I will hasten it. All right? And we understand that that word is shakad, and that means to watch over it. All right? To not go to sleep. To look out for his word. To keep a watch over it. Jeremiah 31:28, and it shall come to pass that like as I have watched over them, meaning us, to pluck up, to break down, and to throw down, and to destroy, and to afflict, so will I watch over them to build and to plant, saith Yahweh. This is the time that we've arrived at, fam. This is the time that we've arrived at. And we are aligning ourselves with that energy, with that spirit, with that movement, that prophetic movement, that prophetic advancement. Isaiah 60:21, thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. A little one shall become 1,000, and a small one rather, a strong nation. I, Yahweh, will hasten it in its time, in his time. That word hasten is the word kush. And it means to hurry, and not just to hurry because of eagerness, of excitement, of enjoyment.
Yes.
Yes.
It's our time to perform, family.
Yes, sir.
Numbers 32:17. But we ourselves will go ready armed before the children of Israel until we have brought them unto their place. And our little ones shall dwell in the fenced cities because of the inhabitants of the land. When y'all think of fenced cities, think of gated communities. Huh?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Think of gated communities. Because that's our history.
Yes.
These so-called rich elite that are in the gated communities, that's our stuff. That's our real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Our cities were prototypes. I'm going to prove this, man. Our cities were prototypes for these so-called gated communities. Man, the New Jerusalem is a gated community. Come on.
That's right.
Deuteronomy 32:35. To me belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time, for the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon them make haste. And our perfecting our alignment, our hearing and building every day, this is hastening it. And family, your emotions need to be involved in this. Again, you need to be excited, eager.
Yes.
A constant state of anticipation every day, moving this thing along. Not just when we get on here or when somebody brings the subject up. Man,
yes,
you should be excited while you're sleeping. Isaiah 62, I have set a watchman upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day or night. Ye that make mention of Yahweh, keep not silence. Listen, and give him no rest till he establish, until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. It's going to be those families that are hastening this thing, that are excited. Like in our vernacular, worrying your parents to death,
Yes.
getting on their nerves. When we going?
Right.
The adoption. The inheritance. When is Babylon going to fall? That's got to be us, 24/7. Watchmen on the wall. Behold, Yahweh hath proclaimed unto the end of the earth, say ye to the daughter of Zion, behold, thy salvation cometh. Behold, his reward is with him, and his work before him. And we know who that's talking about. Yehoshua. Hamashiach.
Yes.
That's our champion. That's our elder brother come to the fight.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Our co-heir.
Yes, yes.
Come to get what is his. And ChatGPT, again, is the antithesis of that. The adversarial element in this fight. Do we get it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
That's their savior. That's their savior. That's their champion. And they shall call them the holy people, the redeemed of Yahweh. Thou shalt be called sought out, a city not forsaken. So, do we get it, family?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So let's move on. We're going to move to remember how our alignment is established. And family, everything is in rank and order. Everything that we do, everything that we will do, will be according to divine rank and order. And I want you all to recognize it, anticipate it, look for it. Yahweh is our source. And he is what? Yahweh of hosts. The host, it includes us, but it starts with the what? Hierarchy of angels, right?
Okay.
And then our righteous ancestors. Which include our fathers or forefathers, our progenitors, right?
Yes.
And the hierarchy, which begins with prophets, righteous kings, right? Judges,
Mm-hmm.
judges, wise men, teachers, etc., and so on. We get it?
Yes.
Yes.
We're aligned And we're aligned because what? We are grounded. What are we grounded in?
Present truth.
Absolutely. Excellent. We are grounded in the present truth. Whatever is on our table, whatever is on our plate, right now, today. And we secure that ground by hearing intelligently, right? Meaning hearing and what?
Building and doing.
Building. And whatever that truth is, we align it with events that are recent, former events. And then those that are not so recent or more ancient events, right?
Yes.
As we look forward to a coming prophetic event. We're talking about ChatGPT being our COINTELPRO, right? As we look
Yes.
forward to this coming test. So in order to perfect our connection, both vertically and horizontal, we concentrate on a recent truth, which is COINTELPRO. As it relates to Hoover, right? J. Edgar Hoover. Remember, he didn't start this. He might have coined the phrase COINTELPRO during this time.
Right.
It might have been coined. But this connects to other events. And that's what we're doing now. Does everybody get it? That's exactly what we're doing now.
Yes.
Yes.
COINTELPRO, dealing wisely with the children of Israel, exposing J. Edgar Hoover as the American Pharaoh. So we're going to go back to an ancient event, COINTELPRO event that involved Pharaoh. Herod, more recent event involving Herod, and the Führer of the last days. We know that has to do with World War II, right?
Yes.
And Adolf. All right. We're somewhat familiar with each of these things, correct?
Okay.
We all should be.
Yes. Yes.
But again, remain open. Empty your cup. Y'all ready to go?
Strapped in.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Let's go.
Pharaoh, from the Egyptian Per-Aa. Per-Aa. I don't know how to say it, but that's the way they got it. Meaning great house. Originally, the royal palace in ancient Egypt. Now see, there's a modern great house called what? The White House.
Yes.
In general, the great house, or the great house is a government facility. On the plantation and under servitude, it was the big house.
Yes.
Under the financial system, the adversarial financial system, it's the Federal Reserve. In terms of the banking system, right? And we know that bank houses are big houses as well. Y'all understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yes.
These are facilities. When I say government, they're colonial or colonizing facilities of all shapes and sizes, but for our intents and purposes, the White House. All right? Another big house is FBI headquarters.
Absolutely.
Y'all see how this works?
Okay.
The word came to be used metonymically for the Egyptian king under the new kingdom starting in the 18th dynasty, 1539 to 1292 BCE. And by the 22nd dynasty, it had been adopted as an epithet of respect. Pharaoh. As a divine ruler, the Pharaoh was the preserver of the God-given order, Mayat. The preserver of the God-given order, Mayat. He owned a large portion of Egypt's land and directed its use, was responsible for his people's economic and spiritual welfare. We know that there is no difference, family, between economic welfare and spiritual welfare under these systems. Do we not?
Yeah.
There is no
Yes,
separation, no such thing as separation of church and state. No such thing. That's something they want you to believe. That's something we've been deceived into believing. But these bank houses are religious institutions.
Yes.
They worked hand in hand with the so-called religious missionaries. I mean, who was paying for it? Who paid for colonization.
Right.
It was central banks.
Absolutely. To finance it. Mm-hmm.
That's right. And dispensed so-called justice to his subjects. His will was supreme, and he governed by royal decree. To govern fairly, though, the pharaoh had to delegate responsibility. Here's the hierarchy. His chief assistant was the vizier, who, among other duties, was chief justice, head of the treasury, and overseer of all records. Of all records. See, ChatGPT was involved there. I'm telling you all, fam. What do you think they were keeping records on papyrus sheets like that, and ruling the known world like that?
No.
Come on, man.
Come on, Edgar.
Come on.
Right.
Below this central authority, the royal will of the pharaoh was administered through the nomes, or provinces, into which Upper and Lower Egypt were divided. Now, wasn't the United States divided as well? North and south?
Yes.
North and south, right?
That's right.
And these nomes or provinces were eventually, they were states. They were colonies first, right? And then they became states. Herod, or Herodes, name meaning hero. This is going to be very important as we make the next connection, family, and we go deeper and higher on this. And let me establish this. A hero another word for hero is the word champ or champion, right?
Yes.
What we're going to see as we go forward, that this word hero is related to the word Ham. Y'all see it?
Yes, sir.
It's related to the word Ham. Not in meaning, but in sound, in phonetic, in a phonetic sense. And this is important. And we'll break this all down, family, and you'll see how this goes all the way back to the garden. It goes all the way back to Genesis 6. To the mighty men, right, of old.
Yes.
Who were the offspring, like Herod, like Pharaoh, like Hoover, like Nixon, like all of these presidents that have sat in the White House. They are the offspring of giants, the fallen ones.
Okay.
And so Herod, name meaning hero, All right? And that hero goes into hierarchy and all of that. Heroes, gamos, all of that, family. We'll get into a little bit later. It means heroic. And it's from the word eidos, meaning a view, a form, and appearance of a hero. All right? And appearance, a shape, eidos, from the word eido. All right? We get the word idea, right? Idea.
Yes, sir.
It's a show of heroism, not the actual thing. It's a show of something heroic. Look, chat, GPT,
Mm-hmm.
and Project Bluebeam. Come on, family.
Yes.
Are they going to put on a show?
Absolutely.
They will.
And see, chat GPT is their hero. That's their hero. Just like Yahushua is our hero.
Okay.
Our Savior, right? Our Redeemer, our Rescuer, right?
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Listen, the first mentions of this word aido, Matthew 2:2, when the Magi, the wise men, came and they went before Herod and they asked him, saying, "Where is he, our hero, born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and are come to worship him." You know, Herod didn't hear that so well. The same way J. Edgar Hoover, when he saw the activity among our people, and
Yes.
we were beginning, Malkiel, to remember who we were
Mm-hmm.
through various means and in various ways. They said, "Oh no, we got to prevent the rise of the Messiah," same way Herod did when the wise men came looking. Matthew 2:9, and when the king had heard, and when they had heard the king, they departed, and lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them, till it came and stood over the young child where he was. Herod was a sellout. He was an agent. He was part and parcel and representative of errant, erratic, sold out leadership.
Yes.
He was a Roman Jewish client king of Judea. He was a client king of Judea. Herod's rule marked a new beginning in the history of Judea. Judea had been ruled autonomously by the Hasmonean kings from 140 until 63 BCE. The Hasmonean kings retained their titles, but became clients of Rome, meaning if they're clients, they sold out. They began representing Rome as proxies in the midst of our people. Do we get it, family?
Absolutely.
Herod was granted the title King of Judea by the Roman Senate, not the people, not Yahweh. As such, he was a vassal of the Roman Empire, expected to support the interests of his Roman patrons. Now, this is where the Roman Empire comes in. All right? We're going to be dealing first and foremost with Ham, all right, which is Babylon, and Egypt. Everybody with me? We'll get to Rome later.
Yes, sir.
All right? Because this is modern Rome as well. It's also modern Greece. It's a compilation.
Absolutely.
Nonetheless, just when Herod obtained leadership in Judea, his rule faced two threats. The first threat came from his mother-in-law, Alexandra, who sought to regain power for her family, the Hasmoneans, whose dynasty Herod had overthrown in 37 BCE. So some of the real Judeans, right, opposed his throne at that time. So this is the atmosphere that came along when they began to recover and to remember what, self-rule was. A child was born. Do y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Herod's support for the Roman Empire was a major factor in enabling him to maintain his authority over Judea. There have been mixed interpretations concerning Herod's popularity during his reign. Now, we'll skip that. Herod, through his ability to keep Judea open to Rome as a link to wealth, to the wealth of Syria and Egypt, and the ability to defend the frontier, convinced Octavian that he would be loyal to him. Herod continued to rule his subjects as he saw fit. Despite the autonomy afforded to Herod in his internal reign over Judea, restrictions were placed upon him in his relationship with other kingdoms. Isn't that the truth? Our leaders can rule, they can run roughshod over us.
Right.
Don't try that with other nations. You can exploit them all you want to. Don't try that in our neighborhoods. Herod's despotic rule has been demonstrated by many of his security measures aimed at suppressing the contempt his people, especially the Jews, had toward him. For instance, it has been suggested that Herod used secret police. Oh, that's the beginning of the FBI, ain't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is.
The federal police, to monitor, observe, and report the feelings of the general populace toward him. He sought to prohibit protests and had opponents removed by force. He had a bodyguard of 2,000 soldiers. Family, isn't that our history, modern day?
Yes, it
As it
is.
relates to COINTELPRO.
Oh, yeah.
Führer, look, see, it has that same root. Fair, Führer. Can you see it? Same root.
Yes.
Führer,
Yes.
also spelled Führer, means leader. See, when we start to talk about the champions, the champ, the rule, the characteristics of Babylon coming from Ham, all right? Ham, Chem. They're going to be specific characteristics that are undeniable. They're going to help you to identify very quickly modern day Egypt, modern day Babylon in the United States. Führer is the title used by Adolf Hitler to define his role of absolute authority in the Germans' Third Reich, 1933 to 1945. See, we're going to find out that at the time that Hitler was establishing was establishing the Third Reich in 1933, the COINTELPRO system was installed 3 years earlier. And they were running, family, unbeknownst to anyone, simultaneously. And then after the war, up till 1971. And then it became another program. All right, but it was still COINTELPRO. Y'all gonna see it, an unbroken stream all the way from Genesis all the way up to this present day, and how we are the targets. I know, man, people, they're gonna look at you like you're crazy when you say things like this. We're gonna prove it. As early as July 1921, he had declared the Führerprinzip, or leader principle, to be the law of the Nazi Party, and Mein Kampf. Look at the word Ham, champ, Kampf.
Yes.
Do y'all see it?
Yes.
He asserted that such a dictatorship would be extended to the coming Third Reich. All right? The same principle was at work in the United States. They just didn't call it the same thing. It was at work all around the world, fam. Beginning in the 1920s, Hitler used the title Führer, or Pharaoh, to refer to his position within the Nazi Party. Führer means leader, but to Hitler, the Führer was not an ordinary leader of a political party or nation. He modeled his idea of the Führer on the leadership of Benito Mussolini, who had led the fascist movement in Italy and became the country's dictator in the 1920s. Fascists were extreme nationalists who believed in the necessity for the absolute unity of the population behind a single charismatic leader, a champion,
Yes.
a strong man, a mighty one, and the supremacy of the good of the nation over the rights of individuals. So we're going to go over this in detail. In detail. COINTELPRO is the syllabic abbreviation derived from Counterintelligence Program 1956 through 1971. 1956 through 1971. But we're going to see that this began much earlier, family. This was an extension of what was going on in other places in the world during, and you all know, the Roaring Twenties, right? The Roaring Twenties. We've talked about that before, have we not?
Yes.
And this was the rise of the divine feminine energy in America, but especially worldwide. Is all this fitting together for you, family?
It is. Definitely.
Yes.
I'm going to pause here and show you what's happening. Yahweh does not teach us in a linear fashion. This is not news to us. We know that. We know this, right?
Right.
He himself declares that he revealed the end from the beginning. This is signature. This is characteristic. No one can do this. He also reminds us that in the last days, the first shall be what?
Last. First.
We've talked about this before, right?
Yes.
And the last shall be first. And the last shall be first. Well, this is the way that these things are done. We talked about the Roaring Twenties years ago. Wasn't that brought to us?
Okay. It was.
And established. Now we're coming back around to it and fitting it in like a puzzle piece. This lets you know, does it fit or does it not fit?
Real talk.
This lets you know. That's his fingerprint on that. Who's teaching this? Not me. Who's instructing? Who's leading?
Okay.
Okay.
It's signature. He tells you the end from the beginning, then brings the end back when he shows you the beginning. And does it fit? Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Characteristic of Yahweh. Just wanted to point that out real quick. COINTELPRO, the syllabic abbreviation derived from Counterintelligence Program from 1956 through 71, was a series of covert and illegal projects actively conducted by the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation. When I tell people that the United States Corporation is criminal,
Yes.
and illegal.
Yes,
Esau, you saying too much. Yeah, it's a legal. Man, these people break the law when they get ready. Their whole existence is predicated on a broken covenant.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Violated treaties with our indigenous ancestors. It is a covert and illegal projects, a series, not just one, actively conducted by the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, aimed at surveilling, infiltrating, discrediting, and disrupting domestic American political organizations, not just political organizations, family. Under Director J. Edgar Hoover, the FBI's COINTELPRO, or counterintelligence program, was aimed at investigating and disrupting so-called dissident political groups within the United States. In the 60s, COINTELPRO's targets frequently included civil rights activists, both those who espouse nonviolence, like Martin Luther King, and those that Hoover referred to as black nationalist hate groups. Currently, family, we are a black identity hate group.
Yes.
Like the Black Panthers, although we're not even, you don't have to be a political group. You don't have to be an organization. The target, they're the sons and daughters of Jacob, of Israel. Always has been. What follows are two of the program's goals in attempting to limit the effectiveness of such groups. In practice, the FBI used infiltration, legal harassment, disinformation, and sometimes extra-legal or illegal intimidation and violence against King, the Panthers, and other black activist groups in its attempts to discredit, disrupt, and even destroy them. The goals for maximum effectiveness, the COINTELPRO, and to prevent wasted effort, long-range goals are being set. 1, prevent the coalition of militant black nationalist groups. In unity, there is strength, a truism that is no less valid for all its triteness. An effective coalition of black nationalist groups might be the first step toward a real Mau, Black Revolutionary Army in America, the beginning of true black revolution. 2, and this is where we start, prevent the rise of a Messiah who could unify and electrify the militant black nationalist movement. Malcolm X might have been such a Messiah. He is a martyr of the movement today. Martin Luther King, Stokely Carmichael, Elijah Muhammad all aspire to this position. Elijah Muhammad is less of a threat because of his age. See, they understood the age, family. Do y'all hear me? They understood they were targeting, like Herod, an age group. Like Pharaoh before him, as we'll see, an age group, a specific age group.
Yes.
King could be a very real contender for this position, should he abandon his supposed obedience to white liberal doctrines, that is, nonviolence, and embrace black nationalism, that is, indigenous nationhood, which he did. They won't tell you this, but he in fact did. They won't emphasize this. He very clearly did, and began in his Poor People's Movement to teach us how our land was stolen from us.
Yes, sir.
And how we were exiles in our own land. That's when they targeted. Wasn't about no brotherhood of man doing all like that. Man, it was about he did exactly what they feared he would do. Carmichael has the necessary charisma to be a real threat in this way. But we learned that Carmichael family was an agent.
Mm-hmm.
So on tomorrow, we're going to continue by going all the way back to the Exodus and looking at the ancient COINTELPRO under the influence and auspices of Pharaoh and tracing this all the way back, all the way forward. All right, so we'll end it here and open things up for questions and comments.